Good evening, everyone. We'll call the City Council to order at 8 o'clock on Monday, June 22nd, 2020. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before I get into my normal dissertation on the start of our meeting, so before taking up the council business this evening, I would like to recognize an individual who is retiring after 29 years of outstanding service to the city and its residents. All councilors should have received information today regarding the retirement of DPW Commissioner John Galoni. Since this is the last council meeting before his retirement, I would ask the mayor to step up to the podium to say a few words. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President, members.
Come right up here. It's easier for the TV.
What?
You're good?
I'm okay. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come down here tonight. Obviously, we have an unusual occurrence where we have someone, a DPW commissioner, that's retiring after 28 years. Someone that's obviously been a go-to guy for all of us, and I wanted this opportunity to read a proclamation tonight. First, I got to catch my breath because I ran downstairs. We good?
Yes, sir.
Proclamation. Whereas John Galoni began his career in the city of Marlborough, Massachusetts on January 20th, 1992 as the Economic Development Specialist. And less than a year later, he was promoted to Director of Public Facilities before his appointment as DPW Commissioner on March 10, 2014. And whereas throughout his career, John has held a distinctive nickname as the go-to person in the city. And while faced with obstacles, John has always found a way to get it done, usually behind the scenes and maybe with a little controversy, and always ingenuity. And whereas John hates public recognition, has steadfastly accomplished more projects than anyone throughout the city's history. With the help of his staff, some of these projects include East Main Street, the new senior center, multiple schools, transforming the city's power into majority renewable energy, new turf fields, renovations of parks and playgrounds throughout the city. These are just a small number of the projects John's got accomplished. Whereas John's famous line is, "Let me think about it, or I'll get back to you." And usually it may take a while, but he usually does. Now therefore, I, Arthur G. Vigent, Mayor, do hereby proclaim July 1st, 2020 is John Galoni Day, in recognition and appreciation of John's 28-year career serving the city of Marlborough and performing his job tirelessly and professionally. On behalf of the city, we extend our best wishes on the occasion of your retirement. John, thank you very much and congratulations.
Here you go, John.
So, I actually, we have a few city keys left in the city, and then my assistant Trish reminded me that John has a key to every door in the entire city. So it probably wouldn't help by giving him a key to the city. So Mary, working with John's team down at the DPW, came up with a better idea, and I'd like to turn it over now to the President. President Ossing?
So, John, if we can have you on the camera just one time. Come on up. John, on behalf of the entire City Council, go right up front here. I want to present you with a street sign which you may be familiar with for the councilors to see. Recognize, I think as all the councilors know, there hasn't been a time when you picked up the phone that you didn't need. You know, John, hey, there's something on the rail trail I need fixed. There's a constituent that has a concern. John, his department have always been there to help us get stuff done. So the councilors can't be here, but on behalf of the councilors, John, outstanding work in 29 years. And speaking to someone who has retired, you will not be disappointed. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to say, you know, John approached me, it was over a year ago when you came in my office and said, I noticed he had been spending a couple of weeks at a time down in Florida, and I started getting nervous. So he came in the office and said, it's getting to that point where I think I'm going to retire, and do you want me to do it during this budget cycle or the next one or by the end of the year? And I told him, and I tell him the same thing today. I need you here as many days as you'll stay, because it's going to be a huge loss for the city. So thank you and congratulations. Enjoy the Cape.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Well done. I don't know, I'll open it up. Any of the councilors want to say a word or two to John before we continue with the meeting?
Mr. President?
I'm not sure who's...
Yeah, Council Oram.
Councilor Oram.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank John sincerely for his services to the city. I've worked with John since 1990, and he's been here 29 years, I believe he wrote. So very happy for him that he's retiring, but at the same time, as was noted, it's going to be a great loss. There's one thing I can say about John. He always gets back to you, usually the same day. He knows how appreciative I was to have him do that through the years as a city councilor, because we're getting back to our constituents. So, John, when you take that John Galone Way sign home, just remember, I think it's about 6 feet to keep your proper distancing. Congratulations. Congratulations, John.
Thank you, Councilor Oram. Anyone else?
Mr. President, Councilor Landis would like to say many words.
Councilor Landers.
A few words. I guess Mr. Flynn and myself were kind of responsible for hiring John back on that cold day back in January. One of his first jobs was to move us from the high school, central office from the high school, to the Walker building. It was cold and snowy, but everything went fine. And as I was telling John Galone today, it's ironic, one of his last jobs leaving is moving central office from the Freeman School down to the middle school. So it's ironic, John, how history repeats itself. But on a serious side, though, I've worked with John on many projects, especially in the early days when we were trying to save money, changing the power plant up to high school and energy and so forth. And all I'd say to John, you sure we got enough money? He said, Don, there's plenty of money. And you know what? We never overspent. But I guess what I really want to say that the city has never looked more beautiful. I don't care whether it's the entrance to the middle school, downtown always looks good, the Walker building looks good. And I think we got to give John Galone a lot of credit for that, because he has so much pride in this city that he just kept after his crew, and they performed. I think the other thing, occasionally I'd see some of his guys and they'd say, that Mr. Galone. I'd say, well, you know what? He has given you probably the best and the newest equipment. And John, that's what I see around town. I see your guys do a good job, but partially because you've given them the equipment they need to do what you want them to do. And I have to stop there because I could go on forever. But good luck, John, and I hope we see you down Cape Cod someday.
Thank you, Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Anyone else?
Mr. President, this is Councilor Roby.
Councilor
I'll
Roby.
be quick. I'll be quick. I echo the thoughts that were just mentioned by my fellow counselors. I started working with Mr. Galoni when first elected to the school committee, and I do understand he has a process. Sometimes you don't like his process, but he certainly does get things done. I was going to bring it up under our item number 11 when we get to the naming of the new elementary school, but I'll do it now. I've been walking through Poirier Drive on my walks, and I know that we had approved funding to redo Poirier Drive with the plan of the project starting when school was out. Because of COVID-19 and school being canceled, they started the project early. So it is almost done. Won't quite be finished before Mr. Galoni is gone. But I do think he and his staff and the contractors deserve congratulations on the great job that they did in making Poirier Drive a much safer walk to school for both high school students and the new elementary students and anybody going to the field. So thank you, Mr. Galoni. We will miss you.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Anyone else? If not, Commissioner Galoni, anything you would like to say?
I want to thank everybody for what they've said tonight. Thank you for the Galoni's Way and the plaque. I couldn't have done it by myself without the support of the mayor and the city council and the funding in place. None of this would have occurred. So it was a joint effort along with the employees and the contractors we do business with. So again, thank you very much.
You're welcome, and we wish you all the best, John.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, councilors, for indulging us to recognize a long-serving individual. So we appreciate the work John's done. So now we'll get back to the work at hand. So again, a few opening remarks before we get started. This evening meeting will be conducted again a little differently than our usual council meeting. We're implementing the governor's orders regarding relief for the open meeting law. This allows the councilors to participate remotely. All councilors are present, and we'll confirm that shortly with a roll call. Council have been asked to review the agenda items before the meeting and contact the mayor or department heads to obtain answers to their questions prior to the meeting, so this meeting can be conducted efficiently. All votes will be via the roll call. The mayor will be available should he be needed to answer council questions. The council will be conducting some public hearings this evening, and the public will be participating remotely. We will try to make this as seamless as possible and ask for your cooperation and patience as we work through this together. I will discuss this further when we start the public hearings. I ask the members of the public that are participating to keep their computers and phones on mute until the public meeting portion of the agenda. There are 18 items on this evening's agenda. I will now ask the city clerk to call the roll to confirm attendance.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner is present.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette is present.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas is present.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera is present.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish is present.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin is present.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis is present.
Councilor Oram. I'm sorry, Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram is present.
Thank you. Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing is present.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman is present.
And Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby is present.
11 present, sir.
Thank you. I will now ask the city clerk to read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, June 8th, 2020.
Mr. President,
Councilor Tenera.
accept and place on file the agenda.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the meeting minutes from June 8th. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Dumas. Councilor
Sorry, Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Council Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to accept and place on file the minutes is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 2.
Now is the time for the continued public hearing on the application for an LED sign special permit from William Camuso on behalf of Lincoln 431 LLC, the Shell Station at 431 Lincoln Street, order number 20-100-7948D. And in addition, we have a communication from Ayub Engineering on behalf of Lincoln 431 LLC, the Shell Station at 431 Lincoln Street, regarding a request for an extension of time for the public hearing.
Mr. President, Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby.
Thank you. Move to accept and place on file the communication from Ayub Engineering and to continue the public hearing until July 20th at 8 o'clock.
Motion is made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication and continue the public hearing to July 20th at 8 p.m. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Oram. Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Council Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
And Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to accept and place on file the correspondence and continue the public hearing to July 20th at 8 p.m. is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Before I start with agenda item 3, it's just some guidelines for public hearings. So as I mentioned earlier, the council is going to try to make these public hearings as seamless as possible and ask for your cooperation and patience as we all learn this together. So some reminders: please keep your computer and phone muted when not speaking, unmute to speak, and mute when finished speaking. Just like if the public was in the chambers, please be respectful while waiting for the public hearing to start, as the council needs to conduct its business. The system does not work when everyone tries to speak at once. We will do our best to get each individual an opportunity to speak, so please be patient. For those of you watching on TV, do not watch on TV if you're going to participate. There is a delay, so follow it using the remote access capability. That is real time. Should there be a technical issue, we will recess and determine if we can correct it. Our IT department will monitor the system for issues and will remove individuals who are disrupting the meeting. And at the conclusion of the public meetings, the council will recess for a moment to clear the system and then return to council business. So with that, agenda item number 3.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the petition from Eversource Energy to install approximately 185 feet of 2-inch IP plastic pipe as a gas main extension on Union Street from 215 Union Street towards Hollis Street, order number 20-100-8031. And in addition, there is a communication from City Engineer Thomas DePercio regarding recommended conditions for the Eversource petition on Union Street.
And again, just to remind everyone, the public hearing is conducted in 4 stages: the public speaking in favor, questions from the public speaking in opposition, and then questions from the city councils. So I'll now open the public hearing for the public speaking in favor. the Eversource individuals on the line?
Yes, my apologies. This is Shannon Ashcraft from Eversource Energy.
Hi, Shannon, your address?
157 Cordoville Road, Southborough, Massachusetts, 01772.
Thanks, Shannon. You can proceed with the project.
Okay, as the counselor described before, we are looking to install 185 feet of 2-inch plastic IP main from the end of our existing main. It starts at 215 Union Street and extend that to 209 Union Street in the direction of Hollis Street. And from there, we will also be installing the service to the residents for number 209.
Thank you, Shannon. Is there anyone else speaking in favor of the project? Is there anyone else speaking in favor of the project? Anyone else speaking in favor of the project? Hearing none, close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the public? Are there any questions from the public? Questions from the public? Hearing none, I'll close that portion of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition. Are there any members of the public speaking in opposition? Public speaking in opposition. Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Hearing none, I'll close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the councilors? Any questions from the councilors?
Mr. President, Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers.
If there's no questions or comments, Mr. President, would like to make the motion to approve this council order tonight. I also would like the clerk to read the conditions set forth by the city engineer.
Okay, hang. We'll hold that motion. I will second that motion. Let's just make sure that none of the other councilors have any comments or questions, so I can close the public hearing. Any questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors?
Councilor Ossing, can you hear?
I can hear you. I can't hear you now. Did he mute himself? Hang on, Councilor Doucette, we're waiting. Is he muted? No? Councilor Doucette, can you hear us?
You should be able. You're muted now.
Try to unmute yourself now, Councilor Doucette.
Still muted.
Is he still muted? The system says you're still muted, Councilor Doucette.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Ah, we got you.
No, lost him again.
There might be a slight delay in the microphone, so
Okay.
there you go.
Okay, I'm not touching anything yet.
We hear you. We hear you.
We hear you.
My system. But anyway, my only question is, I understand that there's a resident that's going to be getting natural gas. I have had other people within my ward asking, what does it take to get natural gas installed? I had a contractor saying that he'd do his own work to connect in. So my question to the utility is, what's the process for people who don't have gas to get natural gas?
To my knowledge, the easiest way to get natural gas if you're looking to install a new service is to contact the utility directly. I believe there are some customer service support phone numbers that they can look up on the website to immediately reach somebody who can get them connected to the correct people to see if what the capability is to install natural gas at that service, at that location.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Question from the councilors? Hearing none, I'll close that part of the public hearing and the entire public hearing. If I could ask the city clerk to read the recommendation from the engineering department. And if Scott, hang on, if Scott's on the line, there's some feedback coming our way, Scott, not sure why.
It sounds like it was from Councilor Doucette, but let's keep going.
Okay.
Communication from City Engineer Thomas DePercio regarding Council Order Number 20-100-8031, which has been referred to the Engineering Department, petition of Eversource Energy to install 185 feet of 2-inch IP gas main in Union Street towards Hollis Street. He offers the following for the Council's consideration. 1, that Eversource complete their ongoing work on Pleasant Street, Bolton Street, and Poirier Drive prior to mobilizing their forces on this project.
On the motion by Councilor Landers to approve the permit with the condition identified by engineering, it's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, and again, you're voting to approve the permit and the condition.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes with conditions noted.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
And Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
11 in favor, sir.
The motion to approve the permit for Eversource to install the gas line on Union Street is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed, with the conditions from engineering. Before we go to number 4, is the applicant on for number 4?
I believe he is, yes, sir.
I can't see, so I just want to make sure they're on. Okay, all right, we will move to agenda item number 4.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the petition on the proposed rezoning of land off Valley Street, identified as map 82, parcel 125, order number 20-100-7976.
Again, the public hearing will be conducted in 4 stages. The public speaking in favor, questions from the public speaking in opposition, and questions from the city councilors. I'll now open the part of the public hearing with the public speaking in favor. Please state your name and address.
Good evening, Council President and City Councilors. For the record, my name is Mark Evangelist. I reside at 108 Kelber Drive, and I am a lifelong resident of Marlborough. I've raised 4 children here. I just celebrated my 8th year as a small business owner here in Marlborough, and I'm looking to change an old abandoned railroad bed from industrial to residential. 5 years ago, I purchased this property in hopes of building a larger building for my sign business. But I realized best would be residential because it's surrounded by mostly residential property. If you can switch to the next page, please. There you go, thank you. The yellow portion of this is all residential, and going west, which is heading straight up, is all residential, and most of the left side of this layout is all mostly residential. The zone change makes sense because it provides a consistent use with the adjoining residential zone parcels and cleans up a long abandoned railroad bed, which forms a long finger of industrially zoned land surrounded by residentially zoned land. It's also less detrimental to the area because we're going from industrial zone to residential zone. The rezoning will allow the lots to be bigger, and part of the backyards will not be industrial zoned. Also, the homes will have more distance from the street and away from the other home. Rezoning with the city councilors in the mayor's vision for more housing to support downtown businesses. Almost every neighbor I spoke with is in favor of this. On occasions, Christian Dumas and he is very supportive of this zoning change. The railroad bed has been tested for arsenic and coal ash and is safe for residential use. The Conservation Board required that last year during this process. These are some of the additional benefits of the rezoning. If you want to go through this, and there's 2 pages here, you can go to the next page, please. About a year ago, I went in front of the planning board, and they unanimously supported this. And actually, I was there just now, about an hour ago, at 7 o'clock, and the whole board unanimously approved it. This has happened to be the recommendation letter from last year, but they're going to forward this year's recommendation letter to you also. It fits into the character of the neighborhood, and the zoning change imposes minimal impact on the neighborhood butters. And the zoning change benefits the area by cleaning up a remaining anomaly over the abandoned railroad bed. These lots will be larger. They're going to be half-acre lots. Most of the lots in this area are they're about 10,000 square feet. The next page, please. So I spoke with a few of the people in the neighborhood, and they wrote some letters, and they passed them to Councilor Dumas for letters of support. I also have my attorney, Marlborough, here, in case you have any questions, legal questions for him. Mark, are you there?
I'm here, Mark.
Excellent. So he's here also, councilors, to be able to answer any questions. But I want to thank the council members, congratulate all the new councilors this year for winning election, and thank for your service to the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Are there any other members of the public speaking in favor of the project? Are there any other members of the public speaking in favor of the project? Any members of the public speaking in favor of the project? Hearing none, I close that part of the public hearing. Questions from the public? Are there any questions from the public? Questions from the public? Hearing none, I close that part of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition. Are there any members of the public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Hearing none, close that part of the public hearing. Questions from the city councilors? Any questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors?
President Ossing, it's Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I see this as more or less of a legacy of paper streets. This isn't the only one that I've come across in the city. Cities that, basically streets that have been planned that are never executed. So I think getting this transition completed would be a good thing.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Any other questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Hearing none, I close that part of the public hearing and the entire public hearing, and this item is in Urban Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Evangelos.
Thank you so much.
Give a recess for a minute to clear the lines, and then we'll move on to Agenda 5. So give us 2 minutes to clear up the lines. We'll take a 2-minute recess. Call the City Council back from recess. We will go on to agenda item, if I can have the clerk read, agenda item number 5.
Request by Mayor Vigent to provide an update to the City Council regarding the fiscal year 2020 and the fiscal year 2021 budgets.
Mr. Mayor, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, members. Obviously, we're going through some strange times, and financially, we keep an eye on this every day. I've had several almost daily meetings with the President and the finance team, and it was recommended that I come down and update the Council and the public as to where we are and where we're going from here. Back on April 2nd, we actually put a spending freeze in place for all discretionary spending in the city. Since then, we've seen our expenditures go down a little bit, and actually with our reports at the end of May, we're down approximately 6% from where we had planned on being with our expenditures this year. Revenues, we are anticipating to be a little short of our goal. We're running pretty much online, but we might be just a little bit short. But because of the savings we have in the expenditures, that we haven't been putting this money out to purchase different items, then we should end up the rest of the year okay. We've held off on any capital requests. Usually by this time, I'm down at the council talking about capital requests for equipment and vehicles and equipment for the DPW, and we've held off on that. And one of the reasons we did that is because this year the legislature and the governor actually allowed us to carry over free cash. As you know, free cash usually goes away on June 30th until the books are balanced sometime in October or November. The legislature has allowed us this year to continually roll over the free cash into the beginning of the year. So as the summer goes on, we can take a better look to see where we are at the time and come down with those capital requests based on what we finally see from state aid. Obviously, that's the big variable right now is state aid. Again, usually by this time, we have our state aid number. And sometime in May, the legislature usually meets, finishes up their budget, and the Senate and the representatives will get together, and we usually have our state aid number this time. That's a little bit different this year. We originally thought we would have the number by the end of the fiscal year, which is next week. And then we thought maybe July or possibly the beginning of August. I was told by some in Boston that we could be seeing it possibly into September at this point. The biggest shock of all that is we've been told to brace ourselves for anywhere from a 10 to 15% decrease in local aid. That's a $6 to $7 million deficit to our budget this year. I know when I came down and talked to you about approving the budget, I told you that we were going to move forward and we would do the planning necessary to make up the difference, and I'm relying on you as far as coming back with adjustments to the budget after things clear up. We just submitted a request for funding from the CARES Act. That was federal money that was allocated out by the state to all 351 communities. Marlborough was allocated $3.5 million for the CARES Act. The problem being is that can only be used for things that weren't budgeted earlier in the year, in March of this year. Only for extraordinary expenditures over and above what was budgeted back then. So when you start taking a look at our current budget and where we are and what we sent on PPE and other expenditures for the COVID virus, We put in a request of $321,000. And the reason we only put in the request for $321,000 is this $3.5 million is for a 2-year period. It's for the year we're currently in and for fiscal year 2021. As a mayor, in talking to the other mayors, we're all anticipating and hoping that the federal government, the Senate and the House in Washington, will take a vote to allow us to use these funds for lost revenues as well as expenditures. It's the lost revenues that we're all concerned about with our communities. Obviously, we've seen huge reductions in the meals tax and rooms tax in the city, and this is going to continue up through fiscal 21. In working with the Deputy Commissioner down at the DOR, Sean Cronin, him and I had some conversations, and I had asked him to write up some legislation for me to allow the city, our city, as well as the 351 throughout the Commonwealth, to allow us to use revolving funds and special revenue funds through 2021 that were dedicated for other things. In our case, the meals tax and rooms tax is dedicated money. We have the revolving accounts for the recreation department. We also have the revolving accounts for our tower money. And I asked him to draw up legislation that allows all communities to use all their revolving accounts for their general budget just for fiscal year 21. I was happy to get his support and get the language. This was submitted by Representative Gregoire. And on June 5th, the governor signed the bill. So that's going to be a huge help to us in the city of Marlborough, and hopefully many communities throughout the Commonwealth will get the benefit of allowing them and us to use other revolving accounts and special revenue accounts that we have dedicated. Those we won't touch until later in the year, again, until we find a little bit better picture as to what's going to go on in 2021. With your help, we got the budget approved, and I told you at that time it was going to be an interesting year, and we were going to have to work together to get through it. I've also asked recently for all the department heads to give me 2 additional adjustments to their budgets. I want all departments to give me a 3% reduction in their current budget moving into 2021 that you approved just a couple of months ago. And I also asked them for a reduction of 6%. So I have all those figures now in my office. All the department heads were very cooperative in coming up with those numbers. And the reason I wanted those to be in the folder upstairs is when we find out what we are going to need, because local aid is reduced or not reduced, or reduced by $6 million or reduced by $8 million, we can deal with it at that time rather than start from that point, ask all department heads to go search through their budgets at that time. So we've planned to make the necessary reductions. We don't want to make them until we have to. We're waiting for those state revenues. The other thing we need to keep in mind is we have a meeting this week with the assessor's office to go over valuations. Obviously, we're very concerned about some of the commercial valuations, especially the hotels and the restaurants. Some of those values are based on revenue, and obviously their revenue's taken a huge beating this year, and we anticipate some substantial reductions in values for some of the commercial property. And depending how sales go, we may see some reductions in the residential properties also. So we've taken the necessary steps. We're in kind of hold mode until the state finally does come out with their local aid numbers. Then we can react, we can fill the gaps, and I'll be looking forward to working with you during that time to figure out which accounts we will be taking a look at. We have planning between our free cash, our stabilization money, our revolving accounts, our overlay accounts. We've been taking a look at all of them, and we're just waiting to see how much we have to backfill to make it through 2021. And with that, Mr. President, I'll stop, and answer any questions that you or the council have for me.
At this time, I'll turn it over to the councilors for questions on the fiscal year 20 or 21 budgets.
Mr. President.
Councilor Oram.
Let me put on my, I'm sorry about the video, it's saving the battery. If I may, to the mayor.
Yep.
In previous meetings, when we approved the budget, we were talking about the stabilization overlay and free cash. What do we have in those funds at this point, if you may explain that, and what is your percent that you wish to spend during this next fiscal 21 year? Thank you.
Well, as far as what we're going to spend next year, again, I can't give you any indication until we end up finding out what we're going to receive for local aid from the state. I just want the access to the different accounts so we can find out which accounts we will be taking them out of to backfill it. If the state ends up using some of their stabilization money, they're offering programs all over the state for all kinds of things to get through this COVID situation. There's only so much they have to spend. They can't print money either. They're not the federal government. They have the same constraints that we have, and if they implement new taxes to raise the funds, they're going to have to borrow the funds because they won't get enough in the next fiscal year. So they have their challenges, but we need to move forward with our budgets, and that's why, you know, stabilization money, we're over $16 million. We have over $4 million in the meals tax account. We have over $1 million in the hotel tax account. We have revolving funds for the parks of over $300,000. We still have the free cash, and you know, so we have sources that we can tap. But at this time, I don't know if we're talking about finding $1 million or finding $8 million, and obviously, for a community our size, that's a huge difference.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, the free cash, it's good that I heard the 16 million in the budget presentation and stabilization. Where are we at with free cash at this moment?
5.5.
Well, with the transfers that have been made, we're just under 6 million, I think 5.5? Yeah.
5.5? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Any other councilors?
Mr. President, Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President, and through you to the mayor. Mayor, thank you for this update. We appreciate you coming down and sharing this information. I know how hard everyone's been working to kind of put us on solid ground, especially in this challenging time. One of my questions that I have is, it's a bit in the weeds, I think, from a global standpoint, but one that's been bubbling up in our portion of the city. And I know that you're well aware of it. Over the weekend, we had some really heavy usage at some of our recreational facilities. I want to make sure that we have the resources and and that they're allocated as we kind of, you know, now that the summer weather is here and things are starting to get warmer, we're starting to see a lot more activity at these facilities. Specifically this weekend down at Memorial Beach, we had large crowds, and you know, a lot of the residents were concerned specifically around you know, overcrowding in the neighborhoods, overcrowding in the parking lots, access to sanitary facilities. You want to make sure that the lifeguards are there, you know, as well as you know, trash pickup and access to those things. I just want to make sure that as we go on, we have the resources, and if not, you know, if you could speak to how we can handle that going forward for the season.
Thank you. Actually, I can tell you, no, I'm getting a little, I can tell you that we spent the majority of the day dealing with the issue. We knew that obviously we were going to have issues. In a usual year, we would open the beach up last week. We had always planned to open it up this Friday, so we're just over a week behind on the opening, and that's based on when school gets out. They work it around that schedule usually. This year's a little bit different because, one, it's been 90 degrees for a few days. In addition to that, school people have been doing the virtual learning, so they're spending more time down there, and a lot of people are not working their regular hours, so they're spending time at the beach. Obviously, everyone doesn't have access to pools and their own beach area or semi-private beaches, so we knew that over the last few days we were going to have some concerns. The DPW has been picking up the trash on a regular basis. We had talked about doing the, you bring your stuff in and bring your own trash home. I didn't feel comfortable doing that, so we left the containers up there. We're going to be doubling the effort from the DPW moving forward as far as the trash goes. The lifeguards are going on duty as of Friday. On busy times, we have 6 on duty, so we're going to have that throughout this summer. It was a little challenging this year because we had some lifeguards tell us they didn't want to come to work this year because their unemployment is higher than they would be making down at the beach. So it was another challenge that Mr. Thibodeau had down there in hiring, and he has his people in place for Friday, so we're good with that. The bathroom facilities will be open on Wednesday. We had to get clearance on how they would be cleaned and how often they would be cleaned, so we're moving forward on that. The police department will be posting the neighborhoods for temporary no parking signs. This is something we went through when we first did the beach over, had the dedication, and it was a really hectic summer to begin with. The police got it under control pretty quickly, so they'll be putting the signs down there, and I told the chief whatever neighborhoods he felt required them, he will be dealing with that part. We will be opening up and having attendance down at the parking lot starting on Friday, and along with that will be a detailed police officer at the gate, and we'll be requiring them to check. The gates will be open and the beach will be open for Marlborough residents only. It's something we're going to work on, and the reason is obviously it's a big year. Everyone's been cooped up and looking to get out, so we're trying to figure out a way to limit the people without trying to turn away too many of our residents. Trying to think some of the other issues that came up.
So limiting parking, so once the parking lot is full?
Once the parking lot is full, people will be turned away. We're not going to, obviously they won't be parking up in the neighborhoods, but once the parking lot is full, people will be turned away from the beach area. As far as the social distancing, we're going to request that people kind of use an honor system, and we just have to remember we have 18 and 20-year-old kids down there that are lifeguards, and we can't have the police there every day, all day. They will be taking runs through there on their regular trips around town. When the officers are out doing their regular routines, the patrol officers, they are going to go down there on a regular basis, but on weekends we will have an officer on duty down there to get us started. So it's basically using the same routine we did a few years ago when we opened the beach. So we're about a week behind. Obviously with Hudson closed, that adds a little more to it. Westborough's closed, although I think if you go by there, you'd be hard pressed to believe that, but Westborough is closed also, so I think we're getting some overflow in addition to that. So, but as far as the resources go, I've talked to Mr. Thibodeau. We met today and talked to the chief also and told him I just need regular updates on the expenditures from his department for overtime or repurposing offices, and whatever he needs, just make sure they get down there, and I'll backfill the money later.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that update, and I appreciate you taking this so seriously and making sure that, you know, the residents can have a safe recreational summer, especially, as you mentioned, during this time of COVID when people have been cooped up for so long. You know, it's everybody's running a little hot, and crowds are going to be extra large this year, so I appreciate you taking a look at this.
Any other comments from the councilors?
Mr. President, Councilor Dumas would like to speak.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, not to put you on the spot, but as things start opening up a little bit, as we go through our phase program, is there any plan to rehire back the employees that were laid off due to COVID?
Well, we're planning on, we're actually going through a process right now of putting in some plexiglass in different offices, figuring out which offices we can open. We're anticipating looking at July 6th is, I guess, a soft opening by appointment only in the building. And then as that progresses, hopefully a couple weeks later can open the building up to the public. So although the employees have been unbelievable, the work's been getting accomplished in the building, I don't think we've missed a step. The residents have been very cooperative in using the mail and the drop boxes in both the front and the back of City Hall. I plan on putting a permanent drop box outside because it's worked so well to receive both payments and other information for the building department or whoever. So I think we're going to go with that first because we still don't want to put too many extra people in the buildings. The library still will be doing the drop-off, pick up at the door, so they won't be open for business, so they can't have as many people there as probably some would like. DPW, fire, police will still be in the senior center, will still be closed to the public, although we will be opening up Mr. Hennessy's office for the veterans on an appointment basis. So again, they'll be meeting by appointment only. So we're hoping to get that moving and just be very cautious. I mean, I know the beach has been something that brought attention to, people gathering. The protest memorial events that have been happening down at we've had 4 down at the Common. They worked real well, but we have the same concerns about the distancing, and we just want to make sure the employees stay safe and the people that are visiting the city or city buildings also stay safe.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the councilors?
This is Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, President Ossing, and through you to the mayor. I'm curious, Mr. Mayor, if you can speak a little bit about what preparation is taking place if there is a second wave of the pandemic. I know that's been coming up pretty frequently, that even though we are reopening in Massachusetts and the contact tracing has been very effective, there are still concerns that there could be a resurge maybe in the fall. And so I'm curious what preparations you're thinking about ahead of time, especially since that might also impact our budget moving forward for FY21.
Well, again, we're prepared with we have that CARES Act money if we need it. We could submit for that up to $3.5 million, but we also don't want to waste that money because our guess is it's probably going to be a one-time shot. Both the police, the fire department, and the schools are ordering as much PPE as possible to get in place. So if we do have that second wave that we're really kind of expecting, we're prepared for it. We're not running all over looking for it like we were this time. And also, I'm still on a weekly call with the hospital. They're in real good shape right now, but obviously they're ready for the second wave to come. And our health department, again, we've had the nurses from the schools come down and help us out in the department. They're all doing checks of all the residents that we have that are positive. We're down to just under 35 right now positive cases in the city, and half of those are in the nursing homes, so that number's been dropping on a daily basis. It's just something we're going to have to keep an eye on, but I can almost guarantee you we're going to see some kind of uptick in the positive cases. And it seems like the age is dropping, which that's the good news, I guess, that it's more of the healthy younger people that are getting through it rather quickly. But we have to be very cautious to keep our residents safe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just want to add, too, for anyone watching, really still maintaining social distancing and wearing masks is a huge priority moving forward. Even though we are reopening, those are really important to continue.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Perlman. Any other questions from the councilors?
Mr. President, through you to the mayor.
Councilor Orm.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think all the answers you were giving were appropriate, and I thank you for that. It's good to see that we'll have that additional staff at Memorial Beach for COVID-19 monitoring. Suggestion would be try to place someone in charge of COVID-19 monitoring that's not doing lifeguard work, because they're doing the same thing at pools. They have their purpose and their job to do, so hopefully we can look at that. And I agree with Council Perlman that we cannot let our guards down, so hopefully facial covering will be suggested at the beach until you go swimming, obviously, and the appropriate social distancing. And I did hear just this morning, Mr. Mayor, that the CARES Act may not be as available in this next round as it was in this present round. So you are correct. It may not be as plentiful in respect to funding as it is now. So thank you for your advancement in getting PPE and so forth. And let's keep our guards up until we get through this. And I thank everyone for their patience in this. This is a very difficult time for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Orm. Anyone else? Any other councilors?
President Ossing, it's Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, President Ossing, through you to the mayor. What sort of advice can you give, Mr. Mayor, for business owners now that they're finally opening up? There are people coming in that some of them are not wearing masks, some of them actually refuse to wear masks, and there are people that are taking this attitude. And how can we de-escalate this and help get people to actually wear masks and basically follow the regulation?
We're not going to have the mask police out there. To get into many of the establishments in the city, you have to have a mask to walk in. I believe all the restaurants, you have to use a mask to go to the men's room and back. You don't need it if you're sitting at your table or outside. So some of this has to be common sense that people, as they're walking around and walking on the rail trail or walking down Main Street, just use some common sense in it. But we're going to continue to encourage wearing masks when they can't socially distance. That's about all we can do, because we are not going to get the mask police out there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions? Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
I'm dismissed?
Well, for now.
All right, thank you. If you need anything, please call. Thank you, councilors.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, please.
Communication from Councilor Ossing and Councilor Tenera regarding the municipal aggregation June 2020 update.
Mr. President.
Councilor Tenera.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just before I make a motion to accept and place on file, I'd like to throw out a few bullet points for everybody, just to tell everybody where we're at. So Marlborough residents participated in our aggregation program saved over $811,000 on their electric bills in the first quarter of 2020. Since November 2019, when the city signed a 2-year contract with Inspire, Marlborough residents participating in the program saved $1.4 million. The 2-year contract with Inspire runs through November 2021, and Marlborough residents participating in the program will continue to see savings in the second quarter. All the energy that is supplied from Inspire is 100% renewable wind RECs. And with that, I'd make a motion to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette says yes.
Thank you. Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Orem.
Councilor Orem votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councillor Ossing votes yes.
Councillor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councillor Pearlman.
Councillor Pearlman votes yes.
Councillor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councillor Landers. Sorry, Councillor Landers. I believe you are muted, Councillor. He just kicked himself out.
Councilor Landers votes yes. All right?
Thank you. Councillor Navin.
Sorry about that.
Councillor Navin votes yes.
Councillor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
And Councillor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to accept and place on file the communication on municipal aggregation is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding gift acceptance in the amount of $500 for the police department from James and Marna Rusher for the benefit of the K-9 unit led by Sergeant Ken McKenzie.
Mr. President, Councilor Irish.
Councillor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve, and thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Rushner for the most generous gift to the K-9 unit for the Marlborough Police Department.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the donation of $500 to the K-9 unit and thank Mr. and Mrs. Rushner. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councillor Roby.
Councillor Roby votes yes.
Councillor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councillor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councillor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councillor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councillor Navin.
Councillor Navin votes yes.
Councillor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councillor Pearlman.
Councillor Pearlman votes yes.
Councillor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councillor Ossing.
Councillor Ossing votes yes.
And Councillor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to approve the gift of $500 to the K-9 unit is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from the mayor regarding a transfer request in the amount of $135, which moves funds from nurse salary to senior clerk salary to cover the cost associated with an employee promotion in the health department.
Mr. President, Councilor Irish.
Councillor Irish.
Motion to approve the transfer.
Motion made and seconded to approve the $135 transfer. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councillor Roby.
Councillor Roby votes yes.
Councillor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councillor Ossing.
Councillor Ossing votes yes.
Councillor Pearlman.
Councillor Pearlman votes yes.
Councillor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councillor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councillor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councillor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councillor Navin.
Councillor Navin votes yes.
Councillor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
And Councillor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to approve the $135 transfer is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from the mayor regarding notification of renewal of 60-day temporary appointments of tax collector Eileen Bristol as interim treasurer effective June 17, 2020, and Stephen Cirillo as interim comptroller effective June 17, 2020.
Mr. President, I would like Councilor Dumas would like to speak.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you. Motion to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the 60-day appointments for the treasurer and the comptroller. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councillor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councillor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Councillor Ossing.
Councillor Ossing votes yes.
Councillor Roby.
Councillor Roby votes yes.
Councillor Dumas.
Councillor Dumas votes yes.
Councillor Pearlman.
Councillor Pearlman votes yes.
Councillor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councillor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councillor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councillor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
And Councillor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to accept and place on file the two 60-day appointments is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 10.
Communication from the mayor regarding proposed amendment to Chapter 540 Solid Waste, making changes to the resident drop-off facility operations and associated fees.
Mr. President.
Councilor Landers.
Okay, I wasn't sure if the city clerk was going to read a little more. My recommendation here, Mr. President, is to refer this to Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion?
President Ossing, it's Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. For the city, this is actually very serious because, you know, all the waste kind of goes through that facility as far as drop-up goes. There's a couple of issues that I think still need to be addressed as far as construction and demolition waste that comes from that. That's not being addressed at this point. But I think it's really good that the transfer station is now taking food waste so that basically people want to compost. The city is supporting that, and I'm all for that as well. So it's a necessary next step that we need to take with this, and I'm looking forward to when this goes to council. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers, just a comment. We'll be in public services. What I neglected to mention, but I maybe will under reports, I would say at the latest, mid-July, we will have at least one or two good public service meetings. We'll have the commissioner there, Ted, and you're right, Councilor Doucette. This is a very important issue, very big issue. We have to address certain parts of it, and we certainly will spend the time, and I believe you're on the committee, and we'll give it a lot of thought. We'll work in conjunction with the Department of Public Works, and we will continue to have probably one of the best residential drop-offs, you get the name, around. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. Any other comments or questions from the councilors? Hearing none. On the motion to refer to the Public Services Department, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the changes to the residential drop-off facility, change to the ordinance, is approved 11-0, and it is now in the hands of Public Service. Agenda item 11.
Communication from the mayor regarding the proposed order for the naming of the new elementary school and recreational fields.
Mr. President.
Councilor Navin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to refer to the Veterans Services Committee. Thank the mayor for sending these names down, and we'll use the committee meeting as an opportunity to solicit feedback from the Veterans Council and other interested members and party members of the city about what is something that a lot of folks are interested in, and so we're looking forward to getting to it.
And I'm sure you will do a fine job. Motion made and seconded to refer to the Veterans Services Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion?
President Ossing, it's Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just wanted to thank the mayor for putting this package together. A bit of historical reference as well. I think the name for the three veteran brothers from the Civil War doing the new school would leave a great legacy for that family, and I hope if this gets approved, we can reach out to the descendants for the school opening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Any other councilors? On the motion to refer to veterans, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the names for the new elementary school and 2 fields is now in the hands of the Veteran Services. Approved 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 12.
Petition from Eversource Energy to install approximately 500 feet of 8-inch low-pressure gas main as part of a system improvement on South Bolton Street and Main Street to Granger Boulevard.
Mr. President,
Councilor Landers.
I would like to make a motion to set a date for a public hearing and also refer this to the city engineer for any conditions that he would like to attach to this proposal.
Motion has been made and seconded to set a public hearing for July 20th and refer to engineering for a recommendation for any potential conditions. Are there any discussions on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the Eversource installation of 500 feet of gas line on Bolton Street. The public hearing will be July 20th and referred to engineering for review. Approved 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 13.
Communication from Attorney Sam Akanian on behalf of Paul Griffin Jr., trustee of Union Realty Trust, regarding a proposed license to encroach for the purpose of placing a handicap access ramp at 270 to 276 Main Street.
Mr. President.
Councilor Tenera.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we'll be taking this up in legislative and legal, but it should be a fairly quick meeting. They're proposing to add the handicap ramps on the sidewalks, and they want to have engineering to review the design and the solicitor to ensure it is in proper legal format. So with that, make a motion to send to L&L.
Motion to send to L&L, and I assume you want it to go to engineering and the solicitor to make sure the design is proper and it's in proper format? Is that correct?
I don't like to assume, but yes.
So So on the motion to refer to legal and legislative and send to engineering and solicitor for their input, are there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to refer agenda item number 13 to legislative and legal, as well as engineering and the solicitor, it is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 14.
Communication from William Camuso on behalf of Camuso Enterprises LLC regarding a request to operate a gas station, the Shell station at 431 Lincoln Street, on a 24-hour basis.
Mr. President, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move to refer this to Urban Affairs and set a public hearing for July 20th.
Motion has been made and seconded to refer to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for July 20th and advertise.
And advertise. Thank you.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette says yes, votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
11 yea.
On the motion to refer to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for July 20th and advertise. It is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 15.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
President Ossing, it's Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette.
I propose to submit to place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees meetings.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes that are listed in agenda item 15. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
And Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Motion to accept and place on file the minutes is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 16.
Claims.
President Ossing, it's Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette.
Please submit the claims to legal.
Motion made and seconded to submit the claims to the legal department. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
7 yeas, sir.
The motion to send the claims to the legal department is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Reports of committees. We're slowly getting action in the committee land, which is good.
President Ossing, this is Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a report from Urban Affairs. The Urban Affairs Committee met on Wednesday, June 17th, and we had some members in chambers and some members virtual. We took up one order number 20-107-947, a proposed zoning amendment to Chapter 650, Section 5, Section 17 and 18, contractor yards, and proposed zoning map amendment to Section 650-8, being a portion of parcel 8512. I stated that the councilors had received the communication from the solicitor that included letters of support from both Gina DiMatteo and from the Trombetta family, also a letter of support from the ZBA, and a generally favorable recommendation from the planning board after they held their public hearing. The council's public hearing was continued until May 18th, where we had no public speaking against and no questions from the public. With all of that information, Councilor Doucette moved to approve the amendments to Chapter 650, Section 5, Section 17, and 18. The motion carried 4-0, and I would ask that we suspend the rules this evening so that we can take up this matter. Thank you.
There's been a request for suspension of the rules to take up the report from the Urban Affairs Committee on contractor yards. On the suspension, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The suspension is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Councilor Roby.
Thank you. Thank you, councilors, for suspending so we can vote on that this evening. And with that said, I would move the recommendation of committee, which is to approve. This is an ordinance change, so it does need to go through 4 stages.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. The motion's been made and seconded to approve the ordinance change. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll go through the 4 stages. All those in favor of suspending the first reading and approving the second, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
11 yeas, sir. Sorry.
The first portion is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. All those in favor of passage to be enrolled, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
All right, the passage to be enrolled is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. All those in favor of the passage to be ordained, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Councilor Pearlman. Sorry.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
All those in favor for it to be ordained is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Is there any objection to passing in one evening? Did I do a roll call for this? This is just this is your time to speak up.
Your chance to shine, that's it.
Hearing none, the ordinance is approved. Any other reports of committees? Reports of committees?
Mr. President, I will say the Urban Affairs has a meeting on Wednesday. We will be taking up the petition for VB Natural for their marijuana site.
Very well. Any other committees? Hearing none at this time, we will move on. You ready?
Yes, sorry.
I just make sure you're ready. Yep. Agenda item 17.
Order number 20-100-8009, proposed amendment to Chapter 398, Licenses and Permits, to ensure consistency with Mass General Law as amended by the 2016 Municipal Modernization Act. This matter was ordered advertised and action postponed to the June 22nd, 2020 City Council meeting. The legal ad has been published on June 5th, 2020. The advertising requirement has been met.
Mr. President,
Councilor Tenera.
seeing that the ordinance has been properly advertised, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, again, this is an ordinance change, and it will require the passage in 4 stages. So, all those in favor of suspending the first reading and approving the second reading, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Okay, sir.
First phase for suspending the first and approving the second is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. All those in favor of the passage to be enrolled, ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
And Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
11 yeas, sir. Oh, excuse me, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Sorry, Counselor. Eyesight's getting bad.
So the passage to be enrolled is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. For the passage to be ordained, all those in favor, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Council Oram votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
And Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The passage to be ordained is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Is there any objection to the passage in one evening? Hearing none, the ordinance is approved. Agenda item 18.
Order number 20-100-8026A, proposed amendments to Chapter 67 and Chapter 125 of the Code of the City of Marlborough relative to the Finance Department, along with the updated job descriptions for the Finance Director, Treasurer, and Auditor positions. The proposed ordinance changes were ordered advertised and action postponed to the June 22nd, 2020 City Council meeting. The legal ad was published on Monday, June 11th, 2020, and the advertising requirement has been met.
Mr. President.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the salary ordinance change, and this does need to be taken up in the, because it is an ordinance change, it needs to be taken up in the 4 stages, please.
So, that's good. Well, your motion, just so I understand, is to approve the salary ordinance and the ordinance change.
That is correct, Mr. President.
So, councilors, that's one vote. It'll go through the 4 stages, but because it is a salary change, it does require 8 votes to pass. Any discussion on the motion to approve the salary ordinance as well as the ordinance change?
Mr. President, this is Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess if I was going to choose something that I would think would be important enough to be referred to a committee, I think I would choose this particular order. And I was disappointed when it was not referred at our last meeting, but was simply advertised. So I will be brief to discuss my 2 concerns that I have. The first one is I had specifically added into Roman numeral I in the change that delineated by the city code be put into this order. And I will note that the current comptroller treasurer job description has in it that that person would assist the mayor in developing an operating budget for the city. It's also in the code in 6710. It is now being given to the auditor in the job description, but there is no code change to go along with that job description change. So I will be curious to see how that works in the future. And the other concern is that I think there was some confusion when this first came out. I think there was some misunderstanding maybe between the mayor and some councilors that there was actually going to be a deletion of the comptroller treasurer and a insertion of a new term. And instead they're both being left in place. So the current mayor wants to have the position called the finance director treasurer. However, a future mayor may want to use the term comptroller treasurer. If the person in place does not meet the job description, that could become an issue in the future. And I believe that in the past, there was a description in the code of a finance director treasurer. It was changed to the current comptroller treasurer through a code change. So it's unfortunate that we're not going through that whole process at this point in time. I do understand the mayor's concern that he needed to have both because he needs to have a person in the position, but I hope that it does not cause issues in the future. I will be voting to support this change for now, but we'll see what happens, and maybe there would need to be a further code change to actually delete the position of comptroller treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Are there any other discussion from the councilors? Hearing none. On the motion to approve, again, it's a roll call vote, has to go through the 4 stages. All those in favor of suspending the first reading and approving the second reading, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
And Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
11 yeas.
On the motion in favor of suspending the first and approving the second, it is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. All those in favor of passage to be enrolled, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
11 yeas.
On the motion for the passage to be enrolled, it is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. All those in favor of the passage to be ordained, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
And Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion for the passage to be ordained, it is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Is there any objection to the passage in one evening? Hearing none, the ordinance is approved. Councilor Tenera.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to adjourn.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
And Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yay.
11 yeas, sir.
We are adjourned at 9:46. Councilors, thank you very much and have a great evening.